Welcome everyone to another exciting day here at Springbrook Nature Center, the grand opening program for this amphitheater and our nature play area, which we're going to get over to in just a few minutes. I'm Jack Kirk. I'm the Director of Parks and Recreation for the City of Fridley, and I have the honor of being your host today. And once again, thank you so much for joining us. It's hard to believe that it's been a year already since we opened our new interpretive building that's just behind us here. And if you have not already had the opportunity to tour that building, see the exhibits, I hope that you have a chance to do that today. I think you'll be very impressed. The Interpretive Center, the amphitheater, the nature play area, and our future outdoor classroom pavilion are all part of a major improvement project here at the Nature Center called the Spring Project, which stands for Sanctuary, Protection, and Renewal into the Next Generation. With the dedication and grand opening of our two new features in the park today, we are getting ever so close to completely realizing a dream project that was conceptualized over a dozen years ago. To start our program today, we welcome to the podium a man who has worked extremely hard on behalf of Springbrook and the Spring Project. Please join me in welcoming to the stage the Mayor of the City of Fridley, Scott Lund.
Jack. Well, all I can say by looking at the audience is that it's a good thing this amphitheater isn't on a ship, because you'd be listing heavily to the side. But I get it. You know, it's a little warm today, and thank God it's sunny, but the shade is helpful, isn't it? Well, here we are again, just a year later, celebrating new additions to Springbrook Nature Center. Technically, we all know this is a city park. Yet this park has far-reaching regional influence, with many people coming from all of the neighboring communities and well beyond those communities. Sanctuary, protection, and renewal into the next generation, or spring as we know it. The project was once just a vision and now has become reality. It's been a long road. I remember talking to Malcolm about this vision back in 2003. So it has been long-lived and somewhat of a struggle, a winding road to get to this point, but we're very pleased with the results. The value of these facilities will be shared by countless numbers of people for many years, certainly. And we certainly can be proud to have this awesome asset in our community. I recognize and thank my fellow council members. Bob Barnett, you can stand and just be recognized. Thanks, Bob. Ann Balcom, Jim Safety, Dolores Veracek. I thank and recognize as well Recreation Director Jack Kirk, our MC today, the Parks and Rec Commission members, and the Springbrook Nature Center Director Mike Maher and his staff. Where'd Mike head off to? Back here. All of their ongoing support has been greatly appreciated. Thank you to the Springbrook Nature Center Foundation Chair, Malcolm Mitchell. Malcolm, raise your hand. And the Foundation Board for having the insight and the persevering attitudes of all these years working towards this ultimate goal of enhancing the Nature Center. And one last heartfelt thank you to the Fridley Lions for their extreme generosity, donating the funds to give us this amphitheater. I, for one, say the Fridley Lions had a home run. What do you think?
Thank you, Mayor Lund. Our next speaker is Minnesota State Senator Carolyn Laine, who serves Senate District 41, which includes the communities of Columbia Heights, Fridley, Hilltop, New Brighton, St. Anthony Village, and the southern portion of Spring Lake Park. Senator Laine makes strengthening environmental protections a priority, and she has been a long time supporter of Springbrook Nature Center, and we really appreciate that. Senator Laine will be presenting a proclamation by Governor Mark Dayton. Please join me in welcoming State Senator Carolyn Laine.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. It's been 10 years since we started work in the legislature on getting some support for this process through bonding, and we did it, and here we are with another phase opening up. But Governor Dayton has given a proclamation for today, and I'm going to read it to you. It's not too long. Whereas Springbrook Nature Center is a unique area that is comprised of the main habitat types of Minnesota: pond, wetland, riparian, upland, oak savanna, and prairie. And whereas Springbrook Nature Center is a natural respite within an urban, commercial, and residential area, making it a popular destination for people of the North Metro area. And whereas Springbrook Nature Center is frequented by people from all of Minnesota and the United States. And whereas Springbrook Nature Center serves as an environmental education facility for several schools. And whereas Springbrook Nature Center hosts one of the largest events for children and families in the Twin City with its Pumpkin Night in the Park. And whereas Springbrook Nature Center was named one of the Minnesota's original important birding areas by the National Audubon Society and is the location for the longest running bird banding project in Minnesota. And whereas Springbrook Nature Center will continue to be an important resource to the state of Minnesota with the support from the community and capital investment bonding. Now, therefore, I, Mark Dayton, Governor of Minnesota, do hereby proclaim Saturday, July 29th, 2017, as Springbrook Nature Center Day in the state of Minnesota. Thank you all. This is wonderful.
Thank you, Senator Laine. We also were presented today a resolution from the Minnesota House of Representatives, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. I will read the final part of it, and it says, "Be it resolved that the House of Representatives commends the results of the public-private partnership that helped rebuild the Springbrook Nature Center interpretive building and other infrastructure. And be it further resolved that the House of Representatives congratulates Springbrook Nature Center and the Foundation on its new public interpretive building. And be it further resolved by the Committee of Rules and Legislative Administration of the House of Representatives of the state of Minnesota that it congratulates Springbrook Nature Center on the grand opening of its new amphitheater and nature-based children's play area." And it's signed by several members of the House of Representatives. We're very pleased to have that as well. A major driving force behind the improvements here at Springbrook Nature Center over the years has been the Springbrook Nature Center Foundation, a local nonprofit foundation dedicated to improving this park and the programs and services that are offered here. Our next speaker is the longtime leader of that Springbrook Nature Center Foundation and truly one of the most influential people in making this spring project become a reality. Please join me in welcoming the chair of the Springbrook Nature Center Foundation, Malcolm Mitchell.
Thank you, Jack. Excuse me. Isn't this another wonderful day, a beautiful day? And the sun would move, so it'll be a little shade over here. It'd be helpful for everybody. But I'll take the sun over rain any day. Some of you remember that 31 years ago today, this month, on July 18th, there was a tornado that hit Fridley and spent 15 minutes in Springbrook Nature Center. Some of the trees that were in this area were destroyed during that time. Over the next 10 years, a lot of redevelopment took place, and in the year 2000, there really was a time when people looked around, including the director of the Nature Center at that time, Sia St. Clair, and said, you know, this Nature Center is beginning to be loved to death. There's actually too much visitation, and we need to do something about that. The result was the Spring Project. You just heard Sanctuary Protection New into the next generation. The Spring Project was envisioned in this 7 acres, and you see what's part of that, the new interpretive center building, this amphitheater, the nature play area, future of the outdoor classroom and pavilion. The result is that this 7 acres then withstands a lot of that potential negative impact, leaving the rest of the nature open for natural use and friendship for that. We all had a vision back in the early 2000s this is the reality of that vision, and we thank the community and everyone here. We thank the legislature for their help. We thank the community for the donations that have put this together. We now have most of the spring project done, and I would say that the process we've used has resulted in nearly $7 million of building financial assistance, all of which has been raised by the community and sources outside of the membership of Fridley, while Fridley supports the major operations of the project. So we thank everybody here for that. I'd like to also again thank Scott Lund for his help and leadership in the fundraising for this project and his leadership to open many doors in the city. I'd like to thank again the foundation board for their help, and I'd like to particularly thank Donna Balls, who was a member of our leadership committee and is no longer a part of the Springbrook Nature Center Foundation board, but is still here and an active supporter. Donna, raise your hand. Our former Senator Barb Goodwin was a major help in getting the state money from the bonding, along with now Senator Carolyn Laine and Connie Bernardi. I'm drawing a blank on her last name, yes. With that, I'd like to just say that I'd like to specifically also thank the Fridley Lions for their wonderful help in this particular donation. I'd like to thank, and we'll say more at this as we move to the outdoor nature play area, but I'd like to thank Jerry and Pat Hartlaub for their major donation for the outdoor nature play area. It's a very, very important part of this project. And I'd like to thank the sponsors of today, which is the City of Fridley, Grandpa's Ice Cream, the Fridley City Band, and all of you for coming. And we had a vision. I think this is an outstanding example of carrying out that vision, and we'll be here for many years to come. So welcome today, and let's move forward with the program.
Thank you, Malcolm. There have been a tremendous number of improvements in just the last 4 years in this park. We've got the new interpretive building, we have improved trails, we have a new 800-foot floating boardwalk system, we have new bridges, we have new exhibits, this amphitheater with a nature play area, and the key staff person overseeing these projects has been our Mike Maher, the director here at Springbrook Nature Center. Mike's done a great job with the outdoor amenities here in the park, the new building, and its furnishings, and he does a great job with the programs that are offered out of Springbrook. Mike sets high standards for himself and his staff, and he follows through as well as anyone I've ever worked with. Please join me in welcoming our next speaker, Mike Maher, the director of Springbrook Nature Center.
Thank you, Jack. This is another tremendously exciting day to be here celebrating with all of you the opening of 2 incredible new features here at Springbrook Nature Center. And over the last 2 years, the Nature Center has gone through this just incredible radical transformation. It's almost a completely different site in many ways. And throughout all of that change, one thing that has anchored us, that has kept us focused, is the mission of the Nature Center, which is to preserve our natural heritage, educate all visitors, and nurture the human spirit. So just to take a quick look at how some of these improvements have helped us to fulfill that mission. The new Interpretive Center has dramatically improved our capacity to educate schools, our summer campers, community members, and daily visitors. So our educational component has been incredibly enhanced through the new Interpretive Center. The amphitheater that we're all celebrating today gives our staff an amazing tool for outdoor education. It's a gathering place that perfectly connects nature, education, and community. And the new nature-based play space sparks the imagination of our young visitors and kindles a lifelong relationship with the natural world. In that space, it's a perfect place for kids to just be kids. And the wonderful thing about that is when we look at the part of our mission about nurturing the human spirit. When you see children at play, I think there's nothing more pure and more beautiful in the world than just seeing that unfettered joy. And speaking as a father and as a park director, when we look at nurturing the human spirit, it's not just their spirit that we're nurturing at that time. I think all of us that have brought children, grandchildren, others into a space like that, and when you see them just experiencing pure joy, they may not realize this, but it's more incredible for us than it is for them. So it's one of the things that I really look forward to over the coming years, utilizing the amphitheater and the natural play area to just see that joy come out in children and community members. And it does so much for all of us, whether we're kids, parents, grandkids, or just people in the community. This is just a really exciting day for me, and I want to acknowledge a few folks. I want to start out with my family. So my amazing wife, Patty, son Will, and son James are there in the audience. Thanks, Jack. I think this happened the last one, too. Thanks. All right. I want to thank the Springbrook Nature Center staff. Tara Rognus is here with us today. Curtis Pergula is with us. I don't know if there's other staff members. Oh, man. Why don't I just hold on to that? I don't know if there's other staff here, but we have just a tremendous staff that's here day in and day out, making Springbrook an incredible place. So my sincere thanks to Tara, Curtis, and the other staff that are not here with us today. I want to thank the Springbrook Nature Center Foundation, Malcolm and the entire foundation. Want to recognize the designers of both of these places, Hoisington Kogler Group. Brian Hargis, I know, is here today recognizing that group. They did a very nice job and worked with us on the Interpretive Center project as well. So thanks, Brian, to you and your entire team. And then just kind of a last shout out. Anybody who's familiar with Springbrook knows that volunteers do so much for us. So want to thank all the volunteers that are here with us today. Getting that play area together over the last week, had a number of volunteers really pitch in and do some incredible work, and we wouldn't all be seeing that finished product without all of them. So I want to thank some of those great volunteers right now. So just a final word, thinking about the mission: preserve, educate, and nurture. Take some time today to learn something new about nature, whether it's our exhibits or just sharing with others. Preservation, we can learn so much at a place like this, but the important thing is that we take it with us. So while we want people to take care of the park and practice conservation while they're here, what we strive for is that what you learn here is carried with you for your entire lives. And finally, as far as nurturing the human spirit, take a moment today to just appreciate and enjoy the community pride, the joy that's seen here. Carry that with you in your heart and share that with your loved ones. And I hope everyone has a tremendous afternoon celebrating. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. We've heard a number of times the Springbrook Nature Center Foundation mentioned. I'd like all of the foundation members to stand and kind of hold your hand up so we know who you are. All Springbrook Nature Center Foundation members, please stand and be recognized. Thank you for all that you do. Mike made mention of a very impressive company we worked with, Hoisington Kogler Group. I remember coming out to this very spot and seeing the place that they had envisioned for this amphitheater, and I'm looking at it and going, I don't see an amphitheater there. But they did, and they're just tremendous professionals and do a wonderful job. Brian, thank you and your group. Amy, all the good work for this and the play area, and a lot of the landscaping around the building. You guys have been a big help to us. You've heard mention how this community has come together and supported this wonderful spring project and all the new amenities here at Springbrook Nature Center. one of the major sponsors and just an ongoing supporter in general of the city and of our Park and Recreation Department has been the Fridley Lions Club, and we just appreciate all you've done for us over the years. This wonderful amphitheater made possible by your generous support. Representing the Lions Club today is Jim Young, First Vice President of Fridley Lions Club. Please join me in welcoming Jim to the podium.
Thank you. I am honored to be here today representing the Fridley Lions and Fridley itself on this wonderful occasion. I remember coming here as a high school volunteer in the early 70s, before Springbrook even existed, cleaning up. Thank you. I came here as a volunteer for the first time as a high school kid, cleaning up trash in North Park for Earth Day, long before Springbrook existed. As the years went by, I visited on my own, brought my kids and my grandkids, accompanied school classes and scout troops, and more, both as an individual citizen and a Lion. The Lions have also contributed time, labor, materials, funding, and more to the park. And for funding, thank you to anybody here who has bought pull tabs in Fridley and lost money. This is part of what we do to reroute those funds. Thank you very much. We've helped build the paths, bridges, and even served ice cream, but I think we're having professionals do that later, and I'm looking forward to that. It's a good day for ice cream. I'm sure there are scores of stories just sitting right here that are similar to mine, and thousands more out in the community at large. Our lives weave in and out of this park, and it becomes part of us, and more people are drawn into our lives and into the park, and it reaches further out each time. This amphitheater is going to be a wonderful staging area for future events, dramas and musical acts, meetings and productions, classes of all kinds and varieties, and surely even things we haven't even anticipated yet. And all in a gorgeous natural outside setting that is easily accessible to so many. This place is an exceptional gift, and I'm sure the collective imaginations and dreams of so many of you will do it proud. As individuals, organizations, and local governments, and the renowned nature center, we are all constantly in this together, changing and evolving, developing into something even greater still. This space promises to help draw in more people and enrich our community in many new ways for years to come. Fridley Lions are proud and privileged to be part of this group and this newest incarnation of the Springbrook Nature Center. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. And thank you, Fridley Lions. Wonderful amenity that we're going to have here at Springbrook. While many individuals have been supportive of our Springbrook Nature Center Spring Project, I think it's safe to say that no individuals have been more generous and giving than Jerry and Patricia Hartlaub. They have made possible classrooms in the Interpretive Center, a number of new exhibits, and the Nature Play Area. We are so grateful for their support and excited to open a new facility today that has been made possible by their generosity. Please join me in welcoming Jerry and Patricia Hartlaub.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right. I do that with my grade school kids too. Okay. Well, first of all, I wanted to say thank you to the city staff, the park staff here, as well as the foundation for allowing us to have this recognition. We been waiting for this roughly 4 years, and it's wonderful that it's reached fruition. So thank you very much. I got to say that one of my passions is to have children spend quality time in the environment. And we spend almost too much time doing other things, not being in the environment. and you all being here are supportive of that, I'm sure. And so, since that's one of my passions, that's why it would make good sense for me to for us to make a contribution. And I'm looking forward to lots of kids playing in the playground. So thank you very much. And here's my wife saying a few words.
When we were first presented with the possibility of making donations, Jack graciously mentioned some of the others, but I have to say the one that both Jerry and I jumped on immediately was the playground. And maybe that's because we're kids at heart. Maybe it's because our kids and our grandchildren and we have spent a lot of time at playgrounds, but that's the one that really jumped out at us. So it is extremely exciting today to be here to see how all the planning has come to fruition. We were there earlier and saw children, in fact our grandson was over there, playing on some of the items, and there are more to be added. But it was fun to see that, and we look forward to the possibility of seeing many children there, probably not generations for us, but at least generations of children to come to enjoy this nature-based play area. It is really, really exciting to see this happen. And I thank Mike Maher especially for drawing us into the planning. We spent time with him and Tara, and it was fun to be part of the planning process. So thank you to everyone.
Thank you, Jerry and Patricia. Now it's time for our ribbon cutting grand opening. This is going to be done in two parts. We're going to do the ribbon cutting here in the amphitheater, and then very orderly, we're all going to go over to the play area. Don't stampede. We're going to go over the play area, and then we're going to have the ribbon removal. Is that right over there? So I'd like Mayor Lund and the city council members, if you would join us up here, that would be great. And foundation representation by Malcolm, Donna, and Carolyn Laine, Senator Carolyn Laine. We would like you out here. John, you're going to be helping us with the ribbon. And Mike. Okay, when we get everybody down here, I'm going to ask for help from our audience. We're going to do a countdown from 5. So, oh, they're going to do fanfare first?
Well, I guess not. No, he's here. Okay, good.